If you're a real estate agent and your pipeline is drying up, here's exactly how to fix it so you can make more money. So this is the commission ladder. If you are making between zero to $100,000 a year in gross commission income, as a realtor, having worked with over 1,200 of them over the last 8 years, I've noticed that those people usually rely on their sphere and referrals, word of mouth, a lot or mainly. Okay, so this is the category I called hoper. Okay, we hope that we get more referrals next week, next month. We're hoping that the word of mouth will continue. If you are making between 100K to 500K a year, usually you have some sort of like way to get more business outside of your sphere and your database, like you do cold calling or door knocking. And then if you are a rainmaker, you do lead gen, most likely than not. And you're making $500,000 a year. I'm going to show you how to go from a hopper to a grinder. If you're a grinder, I'm going to show you how to go from a grinder to a rainmaker. So if you're a hopper, you got to be focusing on numbers. The only difference between someone that is making below 100K a year or above 100K a year up to $500,000 a year is they have more numbers. There are three ways that you need to focus on your numbers specifically. First, you just have to do more volume. So increase your numbers. Second, you got to be tracking these numbers. And then third, you got to be improving them. Let's talk about the first one. So you got to be taking more actions. You have to have more conversations, more calls, generate more leads so that you get more appointments and you get more closings. So whatever you're doing right now that is working with your word of mouth and your sphere of influence, okay, whether that's calling them, sending them video text messages, right? Or sending postcards or, wishing them happy birthday or being involved in your community, do 10 times more of that because what you're doing is already working. If you're not doing anything, it's pure luck, people calling you, then you got to start focusing on what I'll share in the next couple slides. Then once you're doing more volume, you want to be tracking these numbers. Track your actions, how many calls you're making, how many events you're hosting, how many open houses, how many people were there, right? How many people actually picked up the phone when you actually cold called them? How many people opened the door when you door knocked, right? How many appointments did you land out of 100 calls? Every stage of the way. That way you can track the conversions from stage 1 to stage 2. Say you make 100 cold calls, you get 10s that pick up the phone. That's a pickup rate of 10%. You got to know these numbers so that you can improve them afterwards. And then this will ensure you also have consistency. So when you're tracking those numbers every single day, then it's easy to see if you have inconsistencies in your income. Well, maybe it's coming from the inconsistencies of inputs, right? Maybe there's less calls that were made on a specific given week or day. Once you're actually tracking those, then we can improve them. So you can identify the biggest bottleneck and then tweak one thing at a time to see if it fixes it. And then you focus on the second big. Let me show you an example of this. So this is a tracker I used last year for my own company, where I was tracking how many calls I was taking, the show up rate, offers made, the deposits, the closes, and then a bunch of other metrics as well, like total revenue, cash collected, revenue per call, stuff like that. And you can do the same as well for your own business. That way you can see that there was big improvement, right? So it started out at 7% closing rate, then 19, 22, 24, 26, 48, right? And then that's where I started to remove myself from sales inside my company. So that's why it dropped off. But at least I was aware of everything that was going on inside the business and I knew how to improve the biggest bottleneck. And I knew that what I was doing was actually, working because I was moving into the right direction. Okay. So once you have your numbers down, you will most likely be earning between, $100,000 a year up to $500,000 a year. If you want to get past the $500,000 a year mark, you gotta have systems. This is what rainmakers have that the others don't. There are three systems that you need to get there: lead generation systems, lead qualification systems, and lead conversion system. The first one is the most important. You have to find a way to generate leads automatically where you set up a system once and it runs without you. A great example of this is paid ads. Another great example is if cold calling is working for you, you can build a team and hire people below you that will make the calls for you and you oversee them. You do the hire once and then you just manage them, right? You set up the ads once and then you just manage them. You oversee them, but they're the one doing the work. They're the ads are working for you, or the people that are making the calls are working for you. Now, to generate leads is one thing, but then not all leads are qualified, especially if you run paid ads. You're going to have some duds. You're going to have people that say they click by mistake. You're going to have people that are just curious. You don't want to be wasting your time qualifying that. You want to set up a funnel so that you can have friction, right? And only get the qualified ones and then use AI to qualify them by text like this, right? So this is an AI once you have a lead that you can set up where you're texting them, hey, like, I saw like you came in through my YouTube ad. Are you looking to sell your house soon? They say yes. The AI responds, great. What's the timeline you're looking at? This summer. Okay, got it. Any upgrades that you've done over the last couple of years? And then they tell you about the upgrades. Then the AI asks for the address. So if they give you all that information, most likely than not, they're pretty serious. And you're not going to be wasting your time calling back that lead. Then once we have that system, another one is the funnel. So once let's say you're running paid ads. Another great way to qualify your leads automatically is to have a funnel where you're sending them to a landing page and then they give you their name, email, phone number. Then once they are done filling that out, they're prompted to a booking page where you can have your online calendar with your real time availabilities and they can book a time with you to speak directly with you so that you don't have to call them back. They're the one booking a call inside your calendar, right? They were reaching out to you. And this happens without you, right? That's another system. It runs without you and it qualifies them. If they book a call, they are pretty serious. And then the thank you page to warm them up, okay? It qualifies them even further by saying something like, hey, thanks for opting in. Thanks for booking a call. Here's who I am. Here's how I can help you with your real estate goals. Then we need a lead conversion system. So you need a framework to call back your leads after they've been qualified so that you can use this system every single time. So once you have a qualified lead, you don't want to wing it, right? It would be too risky. Remember, we're tracking the numbers. If you're doing the same thing all the time, your numbers should be pretty consistent and it should allow you to get more leads and closings. So this is a great example of a lead conversion system or a script, a framework that is working great when you're running paid ads. So let's break it down. Hey, first name. Yeah, it's Michael Berube. I saw you click on my YouTube ad regarding a guide on potentially increasing the value of your home. And you provided us with your email, xyz@gmail.com, to send you that free guide. I'm just going to see if you actually got the guide because, sometimes it goes to spam. I guess, was there something specifically that that got you to potentially request our seller's guide? You wait and see what they say. And then if they're like, oh, I was just curious, then you go, well, yeah, no worries. Most people are just curious anyway when they click on that on these ads. Are you like 100% in love with your home right now? Like, is it like your forever home? They're gonna say, I mean, not 100%. There's this and that I would change. The reason why they're telling you that they're curious is because, well, they don't know you. Their guard is up, and so by saying this, we're slowly dropping their guard, and they're going to open up to you with, what got them to actually reach out to you. Okay, and then you qualify them a little bit. Okay, where are you at specifically? Oh, that area looks great. I mean, besides like what you stated, like why not just stay there, right? Well, what benefit would there be if you could sell this house now, right? Or how long have you been thinking of moving? So we're getting them to justify why it would be great to move. Can I make a recommendation? Okay, the reason why we ask for this is because we don't want to just like push something down their throat. We want it to feel natural. Hey, I'm just a consultant. I'm not a, sleazy salesperson here trying to push something. I'm just trying, can I make a recommendation? Right? I'm the expert. I'm the authority. I'm the doctor here. You're coming to me with your pain. Can I make a recommendation? They'll say, yes, of course. Right. So if you want, I'd be happy to stop by one day because, every house is different. There's a lot of little things that are easy to fix that people will do without realizing that's costing them a lot of money and time sitting on the market. And a lot of people spend money on, but it's not really needed. You think that'd be like helpful at all? They'll say, yeah, okay. Then you can decide if hiring me makes sense or not, right? If not, that's totally fine. I mean, I'm not the agent for everyone. We're saying this because I want to push them away, right? And I mean, by pushing them away, we're pulling them towards us, right? Is that because again, we're not being pushy and not salesy? Is that something you'd be opposed to, right? And then no matter what they say, you got to respond because let's face it, you wouldn't hire me unless you felt 100% confident that I could be able to sell your house at top dollar, right? They'll say, right. Awesome. So I have to mark. So you're just stating the obvious here, right? Addressing the elephant in the room and what they're really afraid of is that you're just going to like trying to hard close them. Okay. And then you say, okay, I have tomorrow at 6 p.m. or Saturday at 10 a.m. Always give two choices. Never say, oh, when are you available? No, you are busy. Tell them this or this. Which one works best for you? Now, unless you get hit by a bus, if something comes up and you can't make it, will you let me know? This is great because it will make them laugh. Now, unless you get hit by a bus, right? If something comes up, you can't make it, will you let me know? This will increase your show up rate, make sure they actually show up, and make sure they don't always reschedule, always push it off. Once you have these three systems, you're going to be able to have what it takes to make 500,000 a year and more.